Well, Bill, just as you mentioned, Chief Smith took over 2 weeks ago, and since he's done so, the headquarters here at Richmond Police Department has looked just like this. He says one of the first things they're planning on doing is getting this front door fixed and back open after it was broke during protests. He met with the press for more than an hour and really went over his philosophy and what it will mean for the city of Richmond.
Question keeps coming up. Why Richmond? Why now?
New Police Chief Gerald Smith says because of the turmoil in Richmond, he wanted the challenge. The 51-year-old takes over a police department where he says morale is very low among officers.
The officers that serve in this profession across the country, they're not the one with their knee on George Floyd's neck. If you hold them to that standard that they got into this job for, every last one of them will tell you they got into this job to help people.
Smith thinks the department lost a true philosophy over the years, guiding how it interacts with community members. He plans to focus RPD on direct community involvement, similar to former Chief Rodney Monroe, who Smith worked for in Charlotte, North Carolina.
I like to be on the ground. I like to be amongst people. I like to be amongst the issues. In fact, I've actually walked out to the circle, the monument circle, to actually see the conditions out there and saw them firsthand.
A rallying cry for protests in Richmond and elsewhere lately: defund the police.
That's the wrong question. That's the wrong issue that we should be looking at. We should be seeking to fund the change that we're looking for.
Smith commits to working with advisory groups, rethinking public safety in the city, saying a clashing of ideas can be healthy.
Someone may have a suggestion of when we take off or how quickly we get there and how fast we land, but in all actuality, I'm the pilot. I have to make the final decisions on everything.
Over the weekend, there were multiple reports of people shot throughout the city. Smith used the issue of gun violence as a public health crisis.
I was deeply involved in that and from the department that I came from. It's all evidence-based. It's very interesting work. It's very worthwhile work that says that violence goes beyond just the act itself, that there are some certain conditions that take place underneath that build up to that.
Smith backs community review boards led by the Citizens for Police Misconduct and also mental health crisis alerts, two things that protesters in the city have been calling for since the beginning of them. He also says he's 100% committed to meeting with community leaders and activists. Working for you at RPD headquarters, Jake Burns, CBS 6 News.